Part 4, you will hear a lecturer discussing the history of the ancient North American city of Cahokia. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good afternoon. Today we are traveling back in time to the Mississippi Valley, roughly 1,000 years ago, to examine what was arguably the greatest civilization in North America north of Mexico, Cahokia. Now, when we think of ancient metropolises, we often picture Rome or Cairo. But at its height in the 11th and 12th centuries, Cahokia was a bustling urban center. It was strategically located near the meeting point of the Mississippi, Missouri, and Illinois rivers. This geography was crucial. In terms of demographics, it was massive. Anthropologists estimate that tens of thousands of people lived there, meaning that in the year 1250 AD, Cahokia's population actually exceeded that of London, which was a major European capital at the time. Physically, the city was dominated by huge earthen mounds. The largest of these, known today as Monk's Mound, is truly colossal. In fact, if you measure the base of this structure, it occupies a larger footprint than the Great Pyramids of Giza, which gives you a sense of the sheer scale of labor involved. What makes this engineering feat even more remarkable is the choice of materials. Unlike the Mayans or the Romans, the architects of Cahokia did not construct their monuments using stone. They had no quarries nearby. Instead, every single mound was built by hand, carrying millions of baskets of earth from borrow pits to the construction site. The city also demonstrates sophisticated scientific understanding. To the west of the central plaza, archaeologists discovered a circle of large red cedar posts. By observing the alignment of the sun with these posts, they determined that this structure functioned as a calendar, marking the solstices and equinoxes, crucial for their agricultural cycles. Socially, Cahokia was highly stratified. We see clear evidence of a class system. The elite lived on top of the mounds, looking down on the commoners. This hierarchy is most visible in their burial practices, where leaders were interred with exotic items. The city was a continental trade hub. For instance, we have uncovered jewelry and tools fashioned from shells that originated from the Gulf of Mexico, over 1,000 kilometers away. One of the most fascinating recent findings comes from isotopic analysis of human teeth found at the site. This data reveals that a significant percentage of the population were not born in Cahokia. They were, in modern terms, immigrants, drawn to the city perhaps for religious reasons or economic opportunity, much like people moving to cities today. However, by the year 1400, this magnificent city was completely abandoned, and the reasons why are the subject of intense debate. The leading theory blames ecocide, or environmental collapse. To support such a large population, the Cahokians cut down vast forests. Eventually, they likely faced a critical shortage of timber, which was their primary source of fuel and construction material. This deforestation had a secondary, more devastating effect. Without tree roots to hold the soil and absorb water, the region became susceptible to severe flooding. This would have ruined their maize crops and led to famine. There is also evidence of political unrest. In the later stages of the city's occupation, a massive wooden structure was built encircling the main ceremonial center. It was a defensive wall, including guard towers, which suggests the elite were trying to protect themselves either from outside enemies or, more likely, from their own angry citizens. Sadly, for centuries, the significance of Cahokia was ignored. In the 20th century, as the modern city of St. Louis expanded, many of the ancient mounds were flattened. They weren't destroyed by war, but by urban development. Specifically, the land was cleared to build housing for the growing modern population. It is only recently that we have begun to protect what remains of this lost civilization.
That is the end of part 4. You now have 1 minute to check your answers.